Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're right to it. Last video for the night, talking about some NFL news to start for a busy Saturday. So let's get right into it. So, with Ian Rappaport, the hashtag Chiefs, they have activated wide receiver Hollywood Brown from injured reserve, and he'll make his Chiefs debut versus the hashtag Texans. Man, get Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown back, got Mahomes activated for this week. So, it's another weapon for the Chiefs offense with Hollywood. So, the hashtag Ravens, they have waived wide receiver Deontay Johnson. Yeah, he was toxic. The dude was absolute locker room and playing disaster. Like, he barely played. It was pretty much probably character problems. Basically being a diva. Panthers basically fleeced him, got a draft pick out of him. Basically traded him to the Ravens for a draft pick just for the Ravens fucking release him because he was basically a diva. So, per Tom Pelissero, hashtag Vikings quarterback Stephon Gilmore, who has missed 2 games with a hamstring injury, is off the injury report and said to make his return Sunday versus Seattle. So that's a huge in for the Vikings to have Stephon Gilmore back against DK Metcalf. So that even helps their defense. Defense played good with him. Even though he missed the last 2 games, they're going to get better. So the Seahawks with about as clean of an injury report as there could be per Bob Condata. With only 3 players declared out, no one else given a game designation. That means Geno Smith, Kenneth Walker III, and Zach Charbonnet are all good to go. And so, good news for Seattle. They're going to need everybody they can have against that Minnesota Vikings defense. And they're going to have Geno and both their running backs, Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. So, Coach Dean Campbell talked about David Montgomery. He said he's optimistic with a couple of doctors that he saw. The last 2, I think we may see where this thing goes, and it certainly sounds more optimistic. The 3rd doctor in question. We'll see. There's injuries on defense, but it'd be big if they can have Montgomery. So Joe Burrow and T. Higgins have been managed through the week, according to Zach Taylor, but there's no concern about their workload on Sunday versus Cleveland, which will mean they're good to go. Defensive tackle Jonathan Allen has been ruled out for Week 16 versus Philly. Only player they were ruling out today. They ruled out today before that matchup on Sunday. Means tight end Zach Ertz and safety Jeremy Chin still have a chance to play. So, not yet for Jonathan Allen to come back. Would have been a big week, but not yet. Dolphins wide receiver Jalen Waddle is doubtful to play in Sunday's game versus 49ers with a knee injury. Starting offensive tackles that are questionable, Terron Armstead with a knee injury and Kendall Lamb with a back injury, after both missed last week's game. So no Jalen Waddle, and their starting offensive tackles are questionable. So Giants coach Brian Dable told reporters that QB Tommy DeVito was cleared from the NFL's concussion protocol and will back up Drew Lock. So they just don't want to win. I mean, makes sense. Cardinals left tackle Paris Johnson Jr. with a knee injury ruled out versus the Panthers. So, per Tom Pelissero, 2 shoes, 1 fine. The NFL docked Eagles QB Jalen Hurts $5,628 for violating the league's uniform and equipment rules in Sunday's win over Pittsburgh, per source. Officially, Hurts' fine was for not wearing a shoe color. That's not one of the Eagles' constitutional team colors. Didn't the NFL literally post a pic of him with the shoes pre-game? Oh, pre-game it's fine. Well, then why does it matter in the game? Like, who cares, man? It's shoes. And they even deleted that tweet. They returned to Jalen 2 shoes. But it's okay for them to tweet it out, but he can't wear it in the game. Make it make sense. So, get a few things from Tom Pelissero here. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill with a wrist, and personal was limited in practice today. Is now questioned for Sundays versus San Francisco. So there's one there. Rams tight end Tyler Higbee with a knee and illness is off the injury report and set to make his season debut Sunday versus the #Jets. So they're going to have their tight end back. Micah Parsons is listed as questionable for Sunday night, but he's expected to play. So it looks like Micah will be available. And A.J. Brown is off the injury report after a knee injury, set on playing. T. Higgins off the injury report. See which more I don't think we got any more fines here. Don't think we have any more fines as of yet to talk about. So that's all from Tom Pelissero. See if we got anything else. So running back Isaac Guerrero and offensive tackle Trent Williams have been ruled out for the 49ers. So those guys have been ruled out. Panthers wide receiver Xavier Legette has been ruled out for Sunday's game versus Cardinals due to his hip injury. The Colts have ruled out wide receiver Alec Pierce for Sunday's game versus Titans. And Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce told reports that Aiden O'Connell should be good to go to start Sunday versus the Jaguars. So, the battle of the shit bowl. The Texans are signing Irv Smith to their active roster ahead of Saturday's game versus those Chiefs. Nelson Aguilar is going to be out for Saturday's game against Pittsburgh due to a concussion. So he's out. See if we got anything else to talk about. So nope. See if we got anything from JP Football. Then we're going to move on. So per FOS, the Wheat-Art Commanders could be moving back to Washington, D.C. after the RFK Stadium's bill passed unanimously. Ooh, they could do that. We'll see. So people close to Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado program believe his preference is to end up with the #Raiders. I mean, everyone knows this. I mean, I don't think it's a secret. Patriots owner Robert Kraft is still inclined to keep Gerard Mayo as the Patriots head coach, but he needs to have stronger coaching performances down the final stretch of the team's 2024 season. I mean, I don't know if it's the best hire, but I wouldn't give up on him after 1 year. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't give up on it for 1 year, but oh well. So yeah, that's all I have to say for the NFL. We're gonna move on here. See if we talk about some wrestling. So WEVP Chris Legentil, John Cena's farewell tour in 2025 will be a full-time run and it's going to be worldwide. So, man, can't believe it's going to be his last run. So WWE's officially announced that beginning with the January 3rd, 2025 episode, SmackDown will be moving back to 3 hours. Or moving to 3 hours. Don't mind it, more TV time for the roster. 3-hour Raws, 3-hour SmackDowns. It should be fun. So via SBJ's Sports Media Podcast, WEVP Chris Legentil states that fans can expect more international-based pay-per-views in 2025 as they work with Netflix to select locations where they can grow their audience. International shows are the move going forward, especially with those crowds, with how good they are. The international crowds are really good, better than the American crowds, pretty much for the most part. I don't know where they're going to go, but it should be fun. So, via WrestleVotes, Radio Backstage Pass, the main event for debut episode of WWE Raw on Netflix remains Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa. Michael Cole referred to Punk and Rollins as the main event this week, but it looks like Tribal Combat's going to be the main event. I don't know, man. CM Punk and Seth Rollins will be 100 times better. Like, I know The Rock returning would help. Rock returning, but they probably pivoted, maybe. It's not going to be a double main event thing. It's going to be... I think Seth and Punk deserve the actual main event. Tommy! But, yeah. Roman Solo's going to be the main event. Via Variety, AEW is now valued at more than $2 billion, making it the third most valuable combat sports company in the world. Well, when you have a lot of money, I'd hope it'd be up there. Tony Khan, all your money. So via WrestleVotes Radio Backstage Pass, there's an idea within WWE to introduce an undisputed Tribal Chief Championship for the Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa rivalry at some point. Oh boy, another toy belt. So now we'll get to some NBA here. The Atlanta Hawks are looking to trade Clint Capella per at Jake L. Fisher. I mean, he would be great in the Warriors. That'd help us actually rebound. I think he can help a team with his rebounding. Just tell me. So Chris Mannix says Nikola Jokic looks heavy. If you're carrying that heavy and offensive burden, it's going to cost you something on the other end, no matter who you are. He signed the Bill Simmons podcast. Well, he's averaging 30.9 points, 9.9 assists, and 13.3 rebounds. Sure, he might be heavy, but he's destroying teams. Like, what do you mean by heavy? Sure, maybe he's heavy and he's still cooking the entire league, and he's putting up the best numbers of his career. And he's not been awful in defense either. Actually, is being a good defender. He's actually been pretty good this year. Way better than other years. So now we'll get to some NASCAR news here. Just a few NBA things there, not really much to talk about. So next thing, a few some NASCAR to talk about. Isabella Robusto will run the full 2025 ARCA Menard Series season with Venture Motorsports. I just hope she can actually run good and win some races. Cause she had to good, cause she was good last year. If she wins in the same equipment that Amber Balkan or Tony Breidiger couldn't win in, then yeah, it tells you a lot more about them than it does her. And she has more talent than those two combined. In the few starts, she's already impressed in the across ARCA East and West. So I think she'll do good. She has more talent than Tony Breidiger or Amber Balkan. Chandler Smith is joining Front Row Motorsports, and they're expanding their program to 2 trucks. So he gets one of the best trucks in the joins one of the best truck teams in the series. We'll see how he does. I mean, I'm sure he'll do good because he's a good driver. He's just arrogant and an asshole. I hope Lane Reese kicks his ass. That's all I'll say. But he's going to be a championship contender, maybe. I think him and Lane Reese will both be good. So, asked whether NASCAR could bring a race to Saudi Arabia before the end of the decade, Steve O'Donnell said he wouldn't put it specifically on Saudi, adding as far as interest around the globe, including Europe and other parts of Asia. Yeah, let's not ever go to the Middle East with this product. I think it's going to help. NASCAR's like, oh, we want to make things easier and more cost-effective. NASCAR will be like, hold my beer. No, I mean, come on, dude. Saudi Arabia? Jesus Christ. We could just race at Chicagoland. And, Saudi Arabia isn't the most great. Yeah, as a WWE fan, WWE isn't great in Saudi Arabia. I don't think NASCAR would be any better. So on the 2311 front row thing, NASCAR's asked for its ruling tomorrow, and it's requested delay injunction enforcement. And the judge said he will rule Monday on whether to delay enforcement of his order pending the appeal. The NASCAR approved the transfers of the SHR charge of 2311 front row. He ordered that if the sales have not been completed, that they don't close on them until he rules Monday. So we'll see with that. That's kind of just nauseating at this point. So Garrett Smithley will race full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series in 2025 for SS Greenlight Racing in the number 14 car. Yeah, I give it like 3 or 4 races before this falls through. Not a good hire at all. This dude is mediocre at best. The 2311 and Front Row Motorsports have obtained the preliminary injunction to race as chartered teams in 2025, as well as for approval of the SHR charter. So they basically won, and get their charter. So that really a major win for them. Now we'll see how the rest of it plays out. But they have obtained their charters, which is big for them. Oscar Ratzlaff will join Alpha Prime Racing for the 2025 season will pilot the number 4 Chevy. Hopefully he does good for Alpha Prime Racing. See if anything else here. Not really, so it's all the same. Next time out. Peace.